In a society increasingly obsessed with wealth and status, one affluent businessman made a radical choice. He abandoned his identity, disguised himself as a homeless man, and lived on the streets, determined to uncover who among his friends and acquaintances would remain when everything else was stripped away. This is the extraordinary story of John Merritt, pseudonym, a billionaire industrialist who conducted a bold social experiment on anonymity, human connection, and the true nature of loyalty. By 2015, John Merritt had amassed a fortune in real estate and tech ventures, with assets exceeding $800 million. Living in New York City, surrounded by constant ambition and status-driven relationships, Merritt began to wonder, if he lost everything, who would stay by his side? On March 1, 2015, he initiated his experiment, burning his business cards, changing his phone number, and applying to shelters under the alias Michael Evans. His goal was unconventional: to disconnect entirely and observe who would value him for who he was, not for what he had. Behind this bold plan lay a profound sense of vulnerability. Merritt had grown weary of relationships defined by his wealth and influence. What he longed for was authenticity, a human connection untouched by power or privilege. For the next 18 months, Merritt lived anonymously across several U.S. cities: New York, Boston, and Los Angeles. He slept in shelters, relied on soup kitchens, and begged for spare change. A small camera crew, operating discreetly, documented his journey. Merritt encountered the harsh realities of homelessness, the quiet humiliation of being ignored in public, the hunger that gnawed at him each dawn, the relentless effort to find safe shelter. Supplies ran low. Trust was fragile. One freezing night, a passerby offered him a coat, a gesture that left a lasting impression. One afternoon, while sitting on a bench in Central Park, a stranger noticed his torn shoes and offered to buy him a new pair, without hesitation, without judgment. Another time, a woman insisted on giving him hot soup after learning that Michael had no money. These simple acts of compassion stood in stark contrast to the cold indifference he often faced, especially when he remembered how differently people treated him when he wore an expensive suit. Merritt recorded his internal struggle throughout the journey: guilt for voluntarily abandoning his privileges, fear of being discovered, and the emotional weight of becoming invisible. Each kind gesture renewed his belief in humanity. Each moment of neglect deepened his doubts about society's empathy. By mid-2016, Merritt arranged secret reunions with a few friends who had previously claimed unwavering loyalty. Meeting them face to face, still in disguise, he quietly studied their reactions. Some politely distanced themselves, others embraced him, offering genuine compassion, completely unaware of who he truly was. Among the most touching moments came with his childhood friend, David Lopez. Believing Michael to be truly destitute, Lopez helped him find work at a soup kitchen, secured temporary housing, and even wrote letters recommending him for jobs. When Merritt finally revealed his true identity, Lopez was stunned and deeply moved. Eventually, news of the experiment leaked, igniting a national debate. Was it ethical for a billionaire to simulate homelessness? Or was it a legitimate exploration of compassion and loyalty? The media was divided. Advocacy groups criticized the power imbalance, while many praised Merritt for shining a light on society's treatment of the invisible. In the months that followed, donations to shelters and charities surged. Merritt himself dedicated part of his regained wealth to funding mental health and outreach programs for the homeless, ensuring his experiment had lasting impact. By 2017, Merritt published his memoir, Invisible Bonds, detailing his journey fears, and unexpected discoveries about humanity. The book became a bestseller and was later adapted into a documentary, sparking global conversations about wealth, privilege, and empathy. Soon after, he founded the True Friend Foundation, supporting programs designed to connect communities with vulnerable populations. The foundation regularly hosts conferences and collaborative workshops, involving both social workers and homeless individuals, to co-create sustainable solutions. Merritt's journey reshaped his understanding of wealth and loyalty. Money can buy comfort, but not sincerity. In anonymity, he discovered that empathy transcends social status. Sociologists have since cited his experiment as a groundbreaking case study in the psychology of visibility, privilege, and human connection, one that continues to influence public policy and philanthropy. John Merritt's experiment remains a profound reflection on humanity's fragile moral compass. His message is timeless. When stripped of privilege, we uncover either the depth of others' character or the emptiness within. The invisible threads of kindness are what bind society together, yet they are often the hardest to see, especially from the vantage point of wealth and power. In an era grappling with rising homelessness, loneliness, and superficiality, Merritt's story forces us to ask, if we disappeared from the world we built, would compassion still find us? And in that silence, what would remain of our humanity? If this story shocked you, there's more. Our Rise and Fall series exposes the truth behind the biggest names in tech, money, and media. Subscribe to never miss the next twist.